You are using TrueNAS, or maybe you have only heard about it. You have set up your users and shares and protected your data with snapshots and a RAID Z pool. Everything looks perfect until the day comes when a hard disk fails or the entire TrueNAS machine breaks after an update. In that moment, the only question that comes to your mind is, what do you actually need to do? The good news is that handling these situations is much easier than it looks. I've already tested these scenarios many times in a virtual setup to see how TrueNAS behaves and how well it protects our data. Today, I will do it again and show you every step. So when that day comes, you know exactly what to do. And if you are not using TrueNAS yet, this video might help you trust it with your data. In this video, we will check what really happens when a hard disk fails inside TrueNAS. Do we lose access to our data, or can we still reach everything? I will create a full disk failure scenario and replace that disk with a new one, and you will see the exact steps to follow inside TrueNAS so you can handle any hard disk issue confidently. Then we will take it a step further and test something bigger. What if we lose the entire TrueNAS device? Is the data still recoverable? We will rebuild a full TrueNAS setup from scratch and recover the storage pool, the datasets, and all user configurations just like before. If you want to follow my full TrueNAS journey, you can click on the I button above or find it in the description below. By the end of this video, you will know how safe your data really is with TrueNAS. And if you are not using it already, this video might help you decide. So let us get started. First of all, let's create a scenario to replicate a hard disk failure. For that, we need a storage pool that we can damage or replace a disk from. I have TrueNAS installed in a Proxmox virtual machine, and I also have physical hard disks already attached to this machine. Adding or removing those physically and reformatting them is a lot of work. So for this scenario, we can just use a Proxmox virtual hard disk. Now let's create a RAID Z pool for testing. So let's click on the Add button and choose Hard Disk. Here, I'll choose my local storage and enable Discard since this is an SSD. I'll give it around 10 gigabytes, which should be enough for testing. Let's also enable advanced options and enable SSD emulation. Now, if we click on Add, this should add a virtual disk of 10 gigabytes to the TrueNAS machine. But don't attach storage to TrueNAS like this. It's not recommended. Always attach physical hard disks. I did like this just to replicate the scenario. Let's add 2 more virtual disks of the same size so we can create a RAID Z pool out of them. That will help us test and understand the RAID Z setup as well. Now we have 3 new disks of 10 gigabytes attached to the VM. In TrueNAS, if we go to the Storage tab, we can see there are 3 in-use disks already displaying. To create a storage pool using these, let's click on the Add to Pool option. Here, New Pool is already selected, so let's click on Add Disks. Let me give this pool a name. This time, I'll also enable encryption. Let's accept the warning and click on Next. For the layout, let's choose RAID Z1. This should automatically choose the 3 disks. Now we can click on Save and go to Review, and then create the pool. Because we've enabled encryption, TrueNAS is prompting us to download the encryption key. You can download it and keep it in a safe location if you're enabling encryption. I'm deleting this pool anyway, it's just for testing, so I'll download it and close this warning. Here we have our HDD10G storage pool created, where we can test our first scenario. Now let's also add some data to this pool. This will give us some time during the disk replacement so we can actually see what's happening. So let's go to the Datasets tab. Here we have our new storage pool, and we're going to create a new dataset. I will give it a name and set the dataset preset to SMB, and I'm going to keep this Create SMB Share enabled. This will create an SMB share automatically once the dataset is created, which will save us some time. Let's click on Save. The dataset is created and is also shared over SMB. But we still need to set up permissions to access this, so let's quickly edit the permissions. I'm going to set the owner and group to my user and apply both of them. Let's also remove the built-in users and built-in administrators and give full control to the group. And then click on Save Access Control List. Now this pool contains datasets, permissions, and shares just like any other storage pool. You can see in the Shares tab as well, it automatically configured the SMB share for this dataset. Before I show you what to do when a disk is damaged, there's something important you should know. If we go to the Data Protection tab, here you can see a section for scrub tasks. And TrueNAS already added both of my storage pools here by default. What these scrub tasks do is they run an integrity check that scans your ZFS pool to detect and repair silent data corruption. Sometimes data on disk can get corrupted even though the drives don't report errors, and this feature can detect those issues and resolve them. This can often detect issues with your hard disk, even before the disk actually fails. You can also click on these edit buttons for each task to configure the schedule time and type of tests. Now let's get back to our main purpose, what to do once the disk has already failed. Let's add some data to our new data set. I'm going to quickly map out the newly created share in Windows File Explorer. Now let's add some data here. If I create folders or files, it won't consume much storage. So let me copy an ISO image. This will consume at least some space. If we check the dataset, we can see a little more than 300 megabytes is occupied. Even though it's not a lot, we will at least get some time to see when the data is being synced across all disks when we replace it. Now we can try replacing one of the disks. So let's head back to Proxmox. Here, if we want to remove a virtual disk, we just need to select it and click on Detach, then confirm the action. This removes the disk from the VM and keeps it aside as an unused disk. If we check inside TrueNAS, as our storage pool is set up as RAID Z1, there's no issue with the dataset, and we can even access the SMB share. But if we open the Storage tab, you can see TrueNAS is showing a warning in the Topology section and an error in ZFS Health. If we click on Manage Devices, you can see the RAID Z1 pool is showing as degraded. Expanding it shows which disk was removed, and there was no error for this disk. As TrueNAS is detecting this disk as removed, so back in the storage dashboard, it's showing an error in ZFS Health. And we also have option to run a scrub task directly from here, in case you were facing some error with a disk, and the disk wasn't yet removed. But in our case, we just removed the disk, and the data is still there. If we reattach the disk, all the warnings and errors will be gone, but we don't want that. We want to completely replace a disk. So I'll select this disk again, or maybe this one, and detach it. Then I'll select this unused disk and remove it completely. In TrueNAS, our warning and error are back. Now imagine the disk we just removed was damaged, and we lost all the data inside it. So let's add a new virtual disk from Proxmox so we can see what happens when we replace it with a new disk. This time TrueNAS won't automatically add the disk to the storage pool. Instead, it will be displayed as an unused disk. Either we can click on Add to Pool and add it to the existing pool, or we can open Manage Devices. And under the Degraded Data VDEV, we can select the disk we removed and click on Replace. Select the disk from here and click on Replace Disk. Once the disk is added, you can see it is moved to a replacing section. This will take some time depending on your data size. That's the reason we added the ISO file. So this is how we can replace a disk when it's damaged. After testing this, I'm really confident to keep my data inside TrueNAS, and I use it to store everything. This is enough for me to trust TrueNAS more than the cloud. There are even more data protection features in TrueNAS that make your data safer. Maybe I'll cover them in another video. Now our storage pool is healthy again, and once the data is synced to the new disk, it will add it to the RAID Z1 section, and the replacing section will be gone. So this is how we can replace a disk, and TrueNAS will automatically sync everything. Now let's see what we can do to recover our data if our entire TrueNAS device is damaged. The simple answer is TrueNAS Backup Configuration File. So whenever we have a working TrueNAS configuration setup, or maybe we update something, we need to download that configuration backup file. But before I show you that, currently I have this demo pool and all its datasets and configs added to TrueNAS, which I don't need to backup. So let me quickly remove this demo pool. First of all, I'll remove the pool from TrueNAS, and I want to delete everything. Then from Proxmox, I will detach all the disks and also remove them. Now let's go back to TrueNAS and download the backup file. For that, we need to go to Systems, then General Settings. Here, click on Manage Configuration and choose Download File. Make sure Export Password Secret Seed is checked. This will allow us to configure a newly booted device as well. Then click on Save. A .tar file will be downloaded. You can download this backup file every time you make any changes to your TrueNAS configuration and keep it safe somewhere. This backup file is a very small size, so the space occupied will be negligible. Even if we lose our virtual machine, we can simply attach our physical disk to a newly booted TrueNAS VM and apply the same configuration by uploading this configuration file. Let's see that in action. I will go to Proxmox and shut down our TrueNAS virtual machine. Now let's create a new virtual machine for our new TrueNAS server. I'll just use the same settings we used previously for creating our TrueNAS virtual machine. I also want to start this VM after it's created. Now let's click on Finish. The VM is created. Let's open the console. Just install TrueNAS like you would on a new device. We can set anything as username and password for now. We'll just need them to log in initially. Once we apply the configuration, everything will be set up as we had it in our main server. The installation is complete. I will just reboot the system. Once the server is up and we get the IP address, let's open the web UI. Log in using the new username and password for now. Once we're at the newly installed TrueNAS dashboard, we can attach the physical disk to this virtual machine. So let's go to Proxmox and open the Proxmox shell. Here, I'll run the commands to connect both hard drives to this new TrueNAS VM. In the Proxmox installation video, many of you mentioned that you ran into issues with duplicate serial numbers. I didn't face that myself, but if it happens to you, just add a comma and set serial equals your serial number in the command. That fixes it. Thanks to everyone who pointed out this workaround. It's been very helpful. Now that we're done adding the disks in Proxmox, let's return to TrueNAS and open the Storage tab again. If we click on the disks here, we can see the ones we just attached. Now let's bring back all of our configuration using the configuration file. To upload that file, we need to go to System, then General Settings. Now, if we click Manage Configuration, we have an option to upload a file, so let's click on that. On this pop-up, click Choose File and select it. Now click Upload, and it's going to take some time, then the TrueNAS system will reboot. Again, it will take some time to reconfigure everything. And when the system is back up, the IP address will be displayed. If you had an IP configured for TrueNAS, you'll notice it's the same one. You can access it in your web browser, and you'll notice even the theme is restored. To log in, use your actual credentials. And here we have our datasets and storage pool, scheduled snapshot tasks, network shares, everything back just like when we downloaded the configuration file. So that's how you can restore your entire TrueNAS configuration in just a few minutes. If you run into any issues with the process, feel free to join our Discord server. Now that you have your TrueNAS setup fully restored and running, you can check out the next video, where I will cover another interesting topic. If you found this video helpful, let me know in the comments. I'm always interested to hear your thoughts. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more such content. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.